Hi there, so I will be walking through my code for the game I've developed in MATLAB as part of my MATLAB project. The game is a simplified version of the Chrome Dino game built entirely in MATLAB, and the objective of the game is simple. You avoid oncoming obstacles by jumping over them, and the score increases with every obstacle successfully avoided. We'll start with the structure. The main function is Chrome Game, which initializes everything from the play character in the game window to the scoring system and obstacle management. First, we set up some constants like gravity, the jump velocity, the obstacle speed, and a flag to determine if the character is currently jumping. We then call the setup game window, which is a function, and this creates a clean white window and invisible axes to act as the game's canvas. It also links keyboard input using a handler function, and we have axes that controls a playable character area. Next, we define our playable character as a gray rectangle with a specific position and size. We also draw a ground line and add two pieces of text to the screen. One for instructions, which is under the ground line, and one to keep track of the score. Now we'll just talk about the core gameplay loop. This loop continuously runs while the game is active and the window is open. If the character is jumping, its vertical position is updated using basic physics in these two if statements. We increase the y position by the current velocity and then reduce the velocity due to gravity. Once the character hits the ground, the jump ends. We also have logic to spawn obstacles at random intervals. And this is shown by this if statement. Each obstacle is created using the create obstacle function, and its position and graphic handle are stored in a 2D cell array. And here is the create obstacle function. It creates blue rectangular obstacles that spawn at right side of the game screen and returns the obstacle in its position as a vector. Continuing on, every frame, all obstacles move to the left. The function update obstacle checks whether the character collides with any obstacle. We'll just have a look at the update obstacles function, which is here. This also calls the check collision function. The function checks for collision between the player controlled character and an obstacle by comparing the positions of the obstacle and the position of the character. In the update obstacles function, it displays a game over message and stops the game if the check collision function returns true, that is, the player has collided with the obstacle. And then if the obstacle goes off the screen without a collision, we delete it and it increases the score. Increments the score here. Returning to the main game loop. The game speed gradually increases as the score rises, making the game more challenging over time. We also use a pause for the animation timing for MATLAB to handle and process graphics. Finally, we consider when the jump is triggered. The jump is triggered when the player presses the up arrow key. This is handled inside the nested key press function, which allows a jump when the character isn't already mid-air. And that is the game for the code for the simplified version of the Chrome Dino game that I have produced.